A new year gives us a chance to start again. We can put the past year behind us and have a fresh beginning. And to help us have a clean start is to get rid of stuff that holds us back. So in this video, I want to show you 12 items that I try and declutter at the start of every year. Welcome to my channel. I'm Maria, and if you are feeling overwhelmed and tired and would like tips about simple and healthy living, then you have come to the right place. So, whether you are new to decluttering and simplifying or have been doing this for years, things accumulate, and I feel that the new year is a great time to take inventory of what we have and remove what is no longer wanted or needed. I do want to point out that if you're new to this, please know that you don't need to go through all these areas at once. Go at a pace that is manageable for you and set a goal of a week or two. I definitely don't declutter the following 12 items all at once, but find that over the years, I don't need to spend as much time going through these items. So here they are. First, let's start in the kitchen. This area is where I find that we accumulate the most stuff over the past year and where items are most used. So we have a few categories of items here. Number one is expired foods. So the two places where I declutter food items are my pantry and refrigerator. I'm looking for expired foods and foods that no longer support our diet. I don't necessarily throw out canned foods because those last for a long time after the date on the can, but occasionally I find something more than a few years past that date, so I toss those, especially if I know we won't eat it. This year we made changes to our diet, such as cutting out sugar and ultra-processed foods, so those items, along with anything that is no longer good, we toss. Number two, plastic containers. We use these a lot, and some are looking quite worn, so we throw these out. Also, some are missing lids, or the lids are missing the bottoms, so these get tossed too or repurposed to hold other items around the house. And to reduce microplastics in our food, we are starting to replace our plastic containers with glass ones. The third items in the kitchen that I assess are our pots and pans, especially the non-stick ones that stick. I know that once the non-stick coating wears off, the coating made of different chemicals can get into our foods and cause respiratory problems and increase our risk for certain cancers. There's a lot more to this topic, but that's the shortened reason for why we toss these pots and pans. If you have any suggestions for good brands of cookware, let me know in the comments below. I am researching this and would rather pay more for something safe that will last than to replace pans every year. So that's all for my kitchen. What else do you declutter in your kitchen on a regular basis? Let us know that also in the comments below. Next area, the bathroom and medicine cabinets. So the fourth group of items are similar to expired foods, and that is expired medicine and supplements. More so with medicine. I read that expired medicine doesn't necessarily harm you, but its effectiveness wears off. So if it's over a year old, especially if it's something we ingest, then those get tossed. Or sometimes we don't need the medication anymore for whatever reason. If they are prescription medicine, I take them back to the pharmacy where often there is a bin to place unneeded medication. The fifth item that I keep mostly in the bathroom is beauty and hygiene products. I mainly look over these items to make sure that there isn't anything that looks old and crusty and needs to be thrown out. Next area is my office. Over the past year, so many paper piles grew, and I will say this year my office became the dumping ground for so much stuff, especially my parents' documents and paperwork, which I managed to get into 2 boxes. So the sixth item is just a category of paper, such as receipts, expired coupons, and documents. There's a lot more to be said about this category, but to save time, I will just list it because I'm working through my piles. This category is a bit overwhelming at times, and I declutter my paper piles about once every few months, but especially at the end of the year or the start of the new one. If you would like me to do a detailed video on how I declutter paperwork, let me know in the comments below. Other places in the house that I declutter at the end of each year include the following. Number 7, clothes. I buy a lot less clothes than I did in my younger years, but I still enjoy a good sale every now and then to update my wardrobe and to replace worn out pieces. So at the end of the year, I take an honest assessment of whether I will wear certain items that I did not wear this past year and somehow come up with a bag or two of clothes to donate. The next item has been a weakness for me for my whole life, and that is books. I have 2 bookcases, which is a big improvement for when I had 5. I have the one right behind me and another one in our hallway. So I look over the books I have and decide whether to keep the ones I already read, and even some that I didn't. My rule for myself is that my books must fit on the shelf and not piled on one another. I definitely buy more books that I read during the year, but I am getting better at not accumulating more books than needed. If you have a weakness for books, please hit the like button so I don't feel so alone in my addiction. Then share a suggestion or 2 about how you keep your book collection under control. Item number 9, pet toys. Okay, we only have 2 cats, and this is not a category that I accumulate much. I buy maybe 1 or 2 cat toys a year. However, my cats will play with odd things around the house, like empty toilet paper rolls or odds and ends that they find, and things that they just claim for themselves. And I make toys for them with old socks or other recycled items. So all these things get thrown into their cat toy basket and then forgotten because they take them out to play where they get under furniture. So I just take a minute or 2 to throw out old worn out items so they have space to collect new items. The 10th area that I do a quick declutter is the garage. I will admit that this place needs much more than a quick declutter because it's where items from our house go and wait for further sentencing. It's like purgatory, not tossed, but somewhat kept and often forgotten. But at the end of the year, I do a quick assessment for obvious items that are no longer needed, either to be tossed or for my end of the year donation pile. Items 11 and 12 are in our digital space, which is a growing problem because since they don't take up any physical space, it's easy to accumulate more and then not used. But I find that they take up mental space. So the 11th item that I need to declutter are my apps. I can't tell you how many apps I have that I don't use, especially store apps where you download to get their discounts or offers, and then they take up screen space. Also, it's so easy to have multiple versions of similar tools. For example, I had 4 note apps. Why? I don't know. I probably saw someone use it and liked it. Then I would add notes to one of the 4 and forget which one I used and spend an unnecessary amount of time to find that note. So I deleted 2 of them and now use one for work and one for personal use. The final item I want to mention are digital photos. If you have more than 1,000 photos on your phone, hit the like button. I don't want to feel alone in this area either. I used to be so good at making albums, and I think that when I had physical copies of photos, I would see them and want to organize them. Now they're all on my phone and completely disorganized except by date. I know there are many services that help to make albums from our photos, so this will be an area that I work on this year. I have used a couple and like them, but it takes time. But in the meantime, I need to delete photos and videos that are multiples of each other just to free up space. Okay, I think that's enough for us to work on for a while. If you have other ideas to declutter as we start the new year, please let us know in the comments below. Hit the like button if this video has helped you and subscribe for future content. Watch this video next to help you in your journey with simple living for a healthy life.